Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my late review for Hunter x Hunter, episode 119. And like I said in last week's review, I had an exam today, so the review was probably going to be not yesterday because I had to study a lot. And I have a project I have to finish tomorrow. Actually, it's a presentation about anime, believe it or not. I have to do this product pitch for one of my business classes, and I am pitching anime to NBC Universal, saying that they should air anime on late night programming blocks like 11, 11:30, etc. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, Hunter x Hunter is one of the ones I am recommending. So, using that as a transition, Hunter x Hunter episode 119. This episode I enjoyed the beginning of the episode the most, obviously. I remember being on the J Room Facebook page not too long ago, and maybe a couple of days ago, and people were talking about whether or not Killua, who would win between Killua and Part 1 Sasuke. And I was thinking, Sasuke, pretty good Sharingan plus the curse mark. Stage 2, he's capable of flight. So I'm thinking, like, how can Killua win? And people just told me, just wait. Just wait until next week's episode comes out. Right? And I waited, and what do you know? I can totally see it now. There's no way Part 1 Sasuke could beat Killua. Dude, Kanbaru, alright? Godspeed. This is crazy. Speed of lightning and whirlwind. Alright? Speed of lightning and whirlwind. He can use lightning to control his body and then use whirlwind to have himself automatically react to his opponents. Pretty much like reflexes, pretty much. So his speed is ridiculous. He's just speed blitzing Youpi completely. Youpi can't do anything. I mean, he didn't really take any major damage or anything like that. So it's not like Killua was all of a sudden so powerful that he could beat Youpi on his own, which wouldn't make sense because he would assume Youpi, Pito, Pouf all around the same level, and Pito said, and Netero said Pito was probably stronger than him, so it wouldn't make sense for Killua to now be able to beat someone of that level. So, he's still not stronger than Youpi. He's just so fast that Youpi couldn't really do anything about it. And because of that, Youpi started to enjoy himself, really. He started to enjoy himself, and he wanted to fight Killua and enjoy it. And the narrator said in here that that decision was going to lead him to make some unbelievable choice later on. This is one of those things like when the narrator said that this girl is going to change the king, so when talking about Komugi. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this unbelievable choice also has a pretty big impact on where the arc goes from here, because keep in mind, I don't read the manga. Or I didn't read the manga, because right now it's not serialized, because Togashi is lazy. But, anyway, moving on. Killua, he ends up running out, like, just running out of Godspeed. Like, I don't know. He said, like, he used up all of it, but I'm like, what does that mean when he says he used up all of it? Does that mean, like, he just ran out of aura? Like, the minimum amount of aura he needs for that technique, he's below that now, so now he can't use it? Or is it just that because of he just doesn't have enough ability, enough skill in using Nen to be able to use that ability for long periods of time? Maybe it puts too much of a stress on his body or something like that, and his body just automatically cut it off, which could also be possible because your body does things like that all the time. Like, for instance, if your body starts to overheat, it will force you to sweat so that your body gets cooled down, stuff like that. So it could be something like that too. But I don't know if if the reasoning will ever actually, like, I don't know if we'll actually be told, but he runs out, alright? That's all for now, I guess that's all we need to know. He runs out. How exactly, the specifics of it, we might never learn, but if we do, it'll be later on. Right now, we just know that he can't use it right now. And he starts to run away. He starts not run away. Usopp runs away. Killua was retreating. So there is a difference. So Killua starts to retreat, and Meliorone helps him out with that, erases his presence and everything. So Youpi gets up there, Killua's gone, and he kind of figures out, oh, they must have someone who can make himself and other people disappear. Right? So, and speaking of disappearing, we saw the mark that Shoot had on Youpi disappear. So, what's going on with Shoot? Like, is he dead now or what? Like, did he like what? Because in the preview for the next episode, we see Knuckle arrive at this place. I think it's where he left Shoot, and there's like bloodstains everywhere, but Shoot's not there. So Shoot has left, or maybe he was carried away by someone, like one of those random chimera ants going around, or maybe Bezef, somewhat no, not Welfin, because Welfin's outside. But you know, maybe I don't know what's going on with Shoot right now, but something he either had to deactivate his Nen ability, or he was forced to deactivate his ability because of that. Like, he could have been killed, or not killed. He could have just died because he was pretty beaten up already. He could be dead, or he maybe just couldn't afford to expend as much energy keeping the ability active, or else he would have died, which would have made it go away anyway. But I don't know. Something's going on with Shoot. Something's going on with Shoot. And that mark he had on Youpi disappeared from when Youpi had transformed. They took out one of Shoot took out one of Youpi's eyes that was over here, so that disappeared. And that's all we really see of the whole Killua, Youpi, Knuckles Shoot situation. Not the rest of the episode. The majority of the rest of the episode is stuff with Ikalgo and Bravada. Bravada, he's still stuck in the elevator, and Ikalgo decides, well, after a lot of thought, Ikalgo had a lot of scenes in this episode where he was just thinking a lot, and he's like nervous. He's nervous. He's stressed out. This situation that him and the others are in is so important they can't afford to screw up. So he keeps thinking, trying to make sure he makes the best possible decision that he can. So he keeps second guessing himself and coming up with new plans. And in the end, he decides on what I thought would have been the first thing to come to mind, but I guess not. He decides to kill Bravada, then take over his corpse using his Nen ability. Unfortunately, he doesn't really get the chance to do. He was going to do it once Bravada had been knocked out from the sleeping gas, but Bravada, he just shoots the door down. Some elevator, like Togashi was building up this elevator like it had feet or something like that. It just got shot down, like that. It was Togashi, man. Togashi made me think that this elevator was going to be like super important. I mean, it is because of the sleeping gas, and the sleeping gas does end up being important because Ikalgo goes into the monitor room. He traps Bravada in a certain path using the shutters, and he has the room start to fill with gas. And eventually he does get Bravada knocked out, but I mean, still, like, he built up this elevator and this passcode system. I thought it was going to be more than just the door gets shot down, but whatever. Yeah, the sleeping gas, it's filling the room, and Ikalgo tries to lead Bravada into a certain area where he can trap him in between two shutters. However, Bravada sees, he sees this coming and he pulls a Suna. Sawada Tsunayoshi. He pulls a Suna and he just like propels himself. He shoots and he like propels himself as far as he needs to go to be out of there. And he starts taunting Ikalgo and all this stuff. And Ikalgo decides that in order to take out Bravada, he's going to do something that might end up trapping himself. He doesn't want to, well, he ends up coming up with a way, but he ends up getting these armored vehicles, and he drives, and he doesn't really park in front of the elevator. He kind of crashes right in front of the elevator, but that was the plan anyway, to stop in front of the elevator to prevent Bravada from shooting out the top, then just climbing up through the top, up the wire. All right, so he blocks the elevator, then he starts a fire inside the armored vehicle so that Bravada can't just go in and drive it away and then climb up anyway. So then he ends up using the smoke as cover to get behind the thin, like a few centimeters worth of space it is between the armored vehicle and the elevator. So he squeezes through there. He has this breathing breathing tube so that he can keep breathing. Bravada doesn't though, so Bravada ends up eventually getting hit by the gas, being knocked out. And then Ikalgo goes to check on him, and I thought for sure this was going to be a trap. I thought for sure Bravada was just faking this in order to draw out Ikalgo. But no, it turns out he's legit knocked out. And Ikalgo, he wants to kill Bravada, but he just can't. He just can't bring himself to do it. Which I mean, I get, the first one is always the hardest, I guess. I'm speaking like I'm speaking like I'm a freaking war vet. But like the first time you kill somebody, I would assume it would be tough. I've never killed somebody before, but I would assume it'd be tough. So he just can't bring himself to do it, which I can't exactly blame him for. But this is something he should have long since prepared himself for. But I say long since, it's been like what 10 minutes since they came up with this plan. Like I don't even know. It could have been what the last 10 episodes have been like 5 minutes. So I don't know. I don't remember how long it's been since they came up with this plan. But just like how Meliorone was trying to get himself to increase the amount of time he can hold his breath for, I would have thought that Ikalgo would have tried to prepare himself more to kill in the case that he needed to, which obviously now he does. But again, I've never killed somebody before, so I don't know how hard that is. And it's not like this is the normal world either. This is Hunter x Hunter, where people don't hesitate in killing somebody, so that also makes it kind of weird. You see people like Go, like not too long ago, just dying to kill. Well, that's interesting choice of words, but he's just dying to kill Vito. Killua's killed people tons of times before. She just took out 2 fodder chimera ants. I mean, it's just in a series like this, it's weird to see someone who cares so much about not wanting to kill somebody, but it's also kind of cool to see that, mixing it up a little bit. But I still enjoyed this part overall. The thought process of Ikalgo was interesting. Seeing the plan he came up, it was all interesting, so it was cool. And other than that, the last piece of the episode is Morel and Pouf. Morel's trying to decide whether or not to attack Pouf because he realizes that there's a trap. He just doesn't know if the trap has already been activated or if it activates once he attacks. Because he's sitting here thinking, Pouf is probably defenseless in there, right? Since he's transforming, like, I should probably attack. So he's trying to decide whether or not to attack. And we see in the preview, he does in fact end up attacking. And another thing we see in the preview is like a bunch of different like clones of Knuckle. And we see one Knuckle attack this blob that I am assuming is Pouf, especially since Morel was there. And the last thing we see is this weird looking like chibi Pouf. So that next episode should be real interesting. But as far as this one goes, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a cool episode. The last part was there wasn't really much to it. The Killua stuff was awesome, but it wasn't really that big of a part of the episode. Maybe like 3 minutes excluding the opening. So I mean, the majority of the episode was the Ikalgo Bravada stuff, and like I said, I thought that part was cool. So I'll give the episode a 7 out of 10 overall, and that's it. Yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.